Good day and welcome to, or welcome back to, another episode of Quilting with Don. I am Don for those just tuning in. And I'm going to give you another installment into my quilting journey. More to follow on that in just a little bit. Now you might happen to notice, how can you not, that I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt. It's almost that time of year when the Hawaiian shirts get worn on a daily basis by me. I love Hawaiian shirts. Today is the 15th of April, so it's still a bit chilly to actually go out in public with the Hawaiian shirts. It's your daytime temperature is between 10 and 15 Celsius, or maybe between 50 and 60 Fahrenheit-ish. So that's, without the sun shining, it's really hard to wear a Hawaiian shirt right now, but I will soon. So why am I wearing this shirt for this video? Well, because this is my introduction to my next project. I am going to sew my very own Hawaiian shirt. Why? Well, I just mentioned I love Hawaiian shirts. In fact, I counted them in my closet, and I kid you not, I have 34 Hawaiian shirts already. I intend to add a few by making my own like this. And, I've done dressmaking, rather. I've made a garment before. If you may recall, about a year ago, I made a bathrobe for when I went to the Netherlands for that great piping adventure. So, I plan to make my own Hawaiian shirt, or shirts. But before I get to a little bit more on what that involves and what I've discovered so far, let me give you a couple updates on my quilting journey. And first of all, in fact, that is my update, is I was asked to put on at the local Nanoose Quilters group a trunk show. Now, I've never done a trunk show before. Really what it is, you show you stuff you've done. Well, you know me, I'm a bit geeky with the technology, and so I made a slideshow and a trunk show, and I did both at the same time, and it was very well received. It was very well received. I showed all my stuff, the presentation with showing quilts and talking about them and some of the design choices I made, some of the firsts I had, because I've had many firsts, if you can imagine, from my very first quilt to now. And it was about a 40-minute presentation, which is not bad. There are rumors that I'm going to be asked to do that at the bigger guild in Parksville, but we'll see. That's one bridge at a time. I also plan to take this slideshow and my quilting journey and turn it into something for YouTube as well. So you get a chance to recap all that I've done in the last 4-ish years. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is even bigger, monumental news. I entered Eye of Sauron, here it is, just to remind you, I entered that into a national juried show put on by the Canadian Quilters Association, or CQA, in Winnipeg, middle of Canada, in the middle of June. And it was accepted. I just got word a couple days ago that my quilt from me, the beginner quilter, is going to be accepted in a juried show. So I don't know if that's a big deal or not. It's a big deal for me. I'm so excited. So Carol and I have we booked our flights to Winnipeg. We've booked our hotel. We're going to go and enjoy the show. And while we're in Winnipeg, we'll do a few other things as well, of course. It won't be all about quilting. In fact, I might even look up, I used to play in the Winnipeg Police Pipe Band. I might even look up some old piping buddies and should have a pint with them. Okay, so that's big news. In case you are interested in this quilt show, where you'll see Eye of Sauron, of course, and many other quilts, it's taking place in Winnipeg at the Royal Bank RBC Convention Center, and it goes from the 17th to the 20th of June. Just in case you just want to go to another quilt show. Now, let's get on to the main part of what this is all about. So I'm going to flip my notes over here. I am going to make Hawaiian shirts. Well, clearly, I'm not going to make this from scratch. I went and got myself a pattern from McCall's, and it has a pattern for both the shirt and matching shorts. No, you're never going to find me wearing matching shirt and shorts. That's just not on. But I will always wear Hawaiian shirts. And so I've already flipped to the pattern. I actually read through the instructions and opened up and had a look at the cutting templates and discovered that there's a lot I don't yet know. I have to do some Googling and figuring out on how to do various types of stitches, seam allowances, and so on. Now, the instructions are pretty clear, but sometimes I find there's a bit of contradiction, but it's probably just me. So I'm going to read through it. I'm going to Google, because neither Carolyn nor I have a lot of dressmaking experience. She's a quilter extraordinaire, and I asked her about this. She says, well, I know a few things from when I took a sewing class in high school. Dare I tell you how many years ago that was for Carolyn? No, I do not. Anyway, it's going to be an adventure, because I do know that things are different than quilting. I do know the seam allowances are different. I do know I have to finish my edges of all my fabric, because I need finished edges. On quilts, you don't usually worry about that, right? They're all underneath and on the flimsy, and you don't see them. So The other thing is I've already got some fabric. And I got this really cool little, not so little, it's parrots. I love parrots. It's really cool parrot fabric. So I'm going to turn this into a shirt. And I've got 2 other selections so I can make at least 2 more shirts, different shirts than this one. We'll see how this one goes. So I've got fabric, I've got a pattern. What could go wrong? So I'm really excited about this. Let me check my notes to see if there's anything more I can tell you. Oh yeah, of course, because like any pattern, imagine, I have to measure myself and get my sizing figured out so I can cut the right templates. And Carol even mentioned in passing as I was getting ready to do this video for you, she says, don't forget, you can always take the cutout patterns, pin them together, and try them on. Now, obviously, you have to be really careful because these templates are really, they're tissue paper, they're really thin. I'm not sure I want to do that. Or maybe I can just trust using a measuring tape and go from there. But anyway, stay tuned because the next episode I'm going to get into cutting fabric on the templates, learning how to put it together, and we'll see how it goes. Also stay tuned because as I said earlier, I do intend on doing my quilting journey as a YouTube video. So it's probably going to last about 30 minutes and I'm going to go through the slides, going to go show you all my quilts again. And it might be a fun way to have, here's where I am and here's where I am so far. Well, I'm hoping you enjoyed this introductory Quilting with Dawn episode on Hawaiian shirts. I'm looking forward to making my own, and I hope to have this ready for when I really start wearing them all the time. Maybe in about 2 or 3 weeks. All right. Now, I got one more thing. Just stay right there. Aha. Aha. It was pointed out in one of my recent quilting videos that I didn't finish it with something to drink. I didn't realize that was a requirement. Well, you know, if those have watched my videos, probably know I like to tipple. I like to sample various things. And I was given as a gift a little while ago an amazing whiskey from Wales. So it's not considered, if you will, Scotch. It's not from Scotland. It's from Wales, which is in the southwest corner of United Kingdom of England. And it's an amazing whiskey. It's called Penderyn. And I don't know how old it is. Frankly, it doesn't matter. It's just delicious. It's got a beautiful amber color to it. The flavor is it reminds you a little bit of Irish whiskey. But it's also very rich and smooth. Probably shouldn't be putting my glass on the fabric, but there we are. So, if you ever want to learn a bit more about whiskey, I may be tempted into doing Drinking Whiskey with Dawn series. I've always done Drinking Beer with Dawn every year. Maybe I should try whiskey because I do love single malt. I love whiskey. And it smells so lovely. It's so good. So, here's a toast to the upcoming episodes on Hawaiian shirts. Here's a toast to my quilt I have sore on being in a national jury quilt show. And here's to you for hoping you stay tuned for the next Quilting with Dawn episodes. Cheers. I have to start getting that out. Oh, that is so rich and so smooth. Like golden caramel. Wonderful note. Oh, so good. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Cheers.